I'm not gonna lie, I've been trying to record this video intro like 10 times already, I just can't get it right. So we're just gonna dive into it here. By now, you've probably already seen, Team USA posted a list of 44 players who are going to attend the US Men's Olympic Orientation Camp. This is all heading into Milano Cortina 2026, the Winter Olympic Games, and this is the preliminary list of guys that we can expect to be qualifying for that team. This list is just of orientation camp, so just because you're on this list doesn't mean you're making the team fully. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed to be booking your tickets to Milano Cortina in Italy in 2026. It doesn't mean squat, you can still get cut. But because this is orientation camp, you would expect everybody who is realistically getting a chance to potentially be on the team to be invited here. And this is where, as a fan of the Canucks, the Canadiens, and the Red Wings, I've got some things to go out there and say. So, starting out with the names that are on the list, I mean, there's 44 guys on here. We don't need to dive into everybody, but there are some reasonable ones, like, okay, yeah, Jake Gensel's on the team. Fantastic. Austin Matthews is on the team. Fantastic. There are players from the teams that I cheer for that are on this team. Dylan Larkin and Kane made the team from Detroit. Cole Caulfield, Montreal guy, yeah, he's on the team. Or not on the team. Excuse me, I shouldn't say on the team. They're invited to camp. Excuse me. Connor Garland was invited to camp. So was JT Miller. So Vancouver guys. Of course, JT's not a Canuck anymore, but still. And then there are a bunch of other ones where it's like, yeah, okay, like, you can say Clayton Keller belongs here, Kyle Connor belongs here, Jack Eichel, they all belong here. On defense, you can say the same thing. Quinn Hughes is invited to camp. Adam Fox, Brock Faber, Brian McDonough, all reasonable names. Charlie McAvoy, Zach Werenski, yeah, they're in there too. And then for goalies, you've got Joey Daccord, Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, and Jeremy Swayman. All of these guys have been invited to U.S. Men's Olympic Orientation Camp. But there are some very notable snubs, and all you gotta do is go out there and read the replies to get them. Alex DeBrincat snub? Alex DeBrincat snub. Brian Rust over DeBrincat, oh hell no! I wonder what the betting odds were for Shane Pinto to make this preliminary roster. No Lane Hutson? No Hutson, no DeBrincat, no Lane Hutson. Neil Pionk is better than Lane Hutson? I hate the Habs, but no Hutson is crazy work. No DeBrincat is surprising. Where's DeBrincat? Ha ha ha. Habs fans are in shambles. Besser and Demko, wow. Daccord and Pinto. This is a really interesting way for U.S. Men's Olympic team to think about their players. Because when it comes to the biggest snub on D, everybody's talking about guys that ended up qualifying for this orientation camp. Jackson Lacombe, for example, in Anaheim. Alex Vlasic, for example, in Chicago. Like, are these guys really more, quote-unquote, worthy of a camp invite than Lane Hutson? Say what you want about whether or not they'll actually make the team. That's an entirely other conversation. You can say that out of this list of, 4, 8, 12, 16 defensemen, maybe like 6 of them, 7 of them end up getting cut. You don't know who is going to get cut, reasonably speaking, but I think you could say Jackson Lacombe and Vlasic are probably some of the top guys. Maybe even Luke Hughes. The question is, like, okay, the guy just won the NHL's Rookie of the Year. Lane Hutson had all these points. He was so productive. He was so good. What is he doing not on this list? How did Team USA look at their orientation camp and say, yeah, you know who we don't need this time? Lane Hutson. And I understand the argument against Hutson in this respect. I have brought this up as well, but maybe the way Team USA is thinking about their team, it's more like, okay, well, anything we need Lane Hutson to do, Quinn Hughes can do it, and potentially do it even better. You can say the same thing about Adam Fox. If you have 6 defensemen playing a hockey game, do you really need 3 out of 6 of them being in that Lane Hutson kind of mold? I'm not surprised if a guy like Seth Jones or Ryan McDonough or Noah Hannafin makes Team USA over Lane Hutson, who wasn't even given a camp invite to orientation camp. They just prioritize diversity and guys who can play in all situations, as well as a team that can adjust to all situations, rather than just focusing all their chips in the one type of offensive style defenseman. I can understand from that point of view where it's like, yeah, Lane might not make the team. You've got Hughes, you've got Fox. They're already up there. You could even say that Hudson's better than Fox, but you know Team USA is not going to believe that until it's been a few years. But the fact that Jackson Lacombe, Alex Vlasic, and Luke Hughes got camp invites and Hutson did not, that blows my mind. Furthermore, you've got a whole bunch of conversation going on Alex DeBrincat. Pretty shocked at some of the names that were picked over him. The Grindline guys go out there and say, he likely wouldn't make it, but Frank Nazar over him is a complete joke. Garland over him is a joke. Now, I'm not going to lie, Connor Garland, I can understand why he is on this team. Team USA, they want dogs on the squad. And Connor Garland, while he doesn't really provide the best offensive support, is maybe one of the best dogs out there. Plus, reuniting him with Clayton Keller seems like a really nice idea, but still, no Alex DeBrincat? Are you kidding me? This guy went out there and had 39 goals the most recent season, and 70 points. Patrick Kane made the gosh darn orientation camp list. You couldn't spare one more spot for Alex DeBrincat? And what's with the fact that Frank Nazar and Shane Pinto were on this team? Not on the team. I gotta stop saying that. They're not on the team, folks. They're invited to orientation camp. There's a difference. And you're thinking about it like, all right, well, Brian Rust, he was invited. Nazar, Pinto, all invited. Chris Kreider was invited. I get that they'll give priority to a guy who has done well in the past, like a Kane, like a Kreider, whatever, but still, having them invited to camp over DeBrincat, that is a really interesting decision. And then you have yourself some more talk on whether or not Thatcher Demko should have been invited. Cam Robinson tweeted this out, USA Hockey not inviting Thatcher Demko to camp is certainly a choice. We are just over a year removed from him being the runner-up in Vezina voting. And I think the top reply here goes out there and says, hey, like, they have the depth not to risk it. He's got to focus on staying healthy for the Canucks before he can be available for the US. He also has been pretty injured. And I think this one makes a lot of sense here too. Honestly, as a Canucks fan, I'm not mad. I don't want him to get injured after all. You can debate whether or not Thatcher Demko is a more worthy candidate to have been selected for orientation camp over Joey Daccord, Connor Hellebuck, Ottinger, or Swayman. Okay, maybe not Hellebuck, maybe the other three. There's a reasonable argument to go out there and make. But that actually is the case here. Thatcher Demko has not been healthy the past few years, and even the most recent season, he had an .889 save percentage in 23 games. Obviously, we know that he's a lot better than that, but just based off of the sample and just based off of the track record, if Team USA is thinking, all right, well, we got orientation camp coming up, and the Olympics is in February, we've got literally, what is that, September, October, November, December, January, we got 6 months to prepare for this. They're not going to look at Thatcher Demko and his 24-25 campaign and be like, yeah, we can confidently bring that guy on board. Yes, he was amazing before that, .918 save percentage and second in Vezina voting, but it's a risk for Team USA that they don't have to make because there are other goaltenders that are already healthy enough and potentially good enough to also be on the team. So Connor Hellebuck, Ottinger, Swayman, yeah, I can understand them getting in. Swayman even, like, he had a terrible previous year, but at least he played a lot of games. So there is an argument for him, I would say, that is reasonable. I'd say, honestly, like, it's just DeBrincat. That feels really weird that they didn't include him on the team. And Lane Hutson, too. Hutson more so because of how good he was. Even though he might not actually make the team, the fact that he wasn't invited to orientation camp does feel really weird. However, there are some other guys who will get their props and get their flowers because of it, so congrats to Jackson Lacombe and Alex Vlasic for being invited, I guess. With all this in mind, though, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Team USA Men's Olympic Orientation Camp roster? What are your thoughts on who ended up making the camp list and who was left out? What are your thoughts on Hutson, DeBrincat, and Demko not being included on this list of 44 names? I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.